Hello, hello, hello. You don't even know you about to go. Oh, yes, baby. Let's make some fucking money. See you later, stinky. Let's make some shmoney. Let's make some shmoney. Yo, yo, yo. Okay, let's make some money. First off, started Rivian swing. I mean, I'm long. That AI autonomy day was great. They're going to add a lot of revenue. They're going to add a lot of profit, gross profit. Let's talk about obviously not net income, but gross profit to in Q1 of 2026 with people buying the $49 membership, $2,500 one-time fee. They're going to make a lot of money to their software revenue. Everything's in tech. Tech now, in-house tech, sorry. I am long here. I got a month out, and I'm looking for a move back over 1650. So that's that. Then, obviously, we have Qs and NQ ripping higher. I was looking for a trade on A-Lab. I know I talked about it on Alertify. I didn't want to do any more swings. I wanted to long it right here. And look at what we did in 2 hours. We went up $10 in 2 hours. So, missed play. One second. See, this is up $10 in 2 hours. Another one I'm looking at is CoreWeave. Is it CoreWeave or is it Qualcomm? No, it's Circle. I want to see if we can break out here. I mean, let's see what else we got. Aklo. Walmart would have been great if I saw that this morning. $2. We're going to do spreads education too here in just a moment. We're going to be trading and doing spreads for the next 30 minutes, and I'm going to hop off. But let me just do a quick dive through, see if we get any swings. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. We're going to be doing a lot of shit. Let's make some money. Today was a great day. Metalongs, one of the strongest names earlier in the day, even with the market dropping. Our spreads, unbelievable. Really good day. Dow looking good. I don't want to trade that, though. I already did that in the past week and a half. Snow. Look at that candle. Engulfing, but I'm not going to take that. I don't know. I don't like trading snow. Holy moly. MasterCard's up $20 today. Jesus. I don't even want to look at what these contracts are. Hold on. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Yeah, I'm gonna take a no on ASML, but this would be a perfect setup. You got a flag holding a 9 strong, couple, down wicks. I would take that long. PLTR, if we kind of got it, a little bit better, I'd do the same thing. Our Rivian is going up. We should be up on those calls. Let's see where we're at. 4%, nothing crazy. It's a month out swing. Microsoft bullish engulfing. Let's check this out for a second. You can look at 490 here, but I still like Meta, man. I think Meta gets a ripper. And I think it's 670 they like. Yeah, 670. 665. We have 650 below right here. Look. Same thing. 670, 665. Oh my God. It's too expensive. I'll wait till the end of the day and watch Meta. Look for a swing on that. Apple, again, waking up. Is that telling us something? Are we finding something? I'm just crazy. NQ. I wouldn't doubt if this goes for high day. Sorry, red to green. Okay. No, did not go over spreads. We're going to go over that right now. Okay. On. Do I think Q's hit 628? It's very possible. I think this could possibly go green. Sell the news event on Rivian? Yes. But again, Rivian ran up so much in under 2 months into that event. I'm a big buyer on Rivian. I after today, I even think so. I said 27 to 30 is my target for next year. I don't see why not. This can't get above 30 plus next year. So Rivian, I really love. I'm going to be buying more leaps of 2028 calls, as well as more shares. And today would be a good day to do that, being we're down over $2.50 from the recent highs. And we had a nice, at 1.8%, 9% day down. Let me just get through all these questions here. My Visa leaps are back from the gulag. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What up? What up? So Slate, did you go over spreads yet? No. Thanks for the spread trade earlier. I missed it, but in that point, so what did you say about stop loss on the spreads? No spreads. Okay, so this is a good question. For spreads. So for the spreads, I'm doing 200% stop loss. In this case, 0.32 for your entry is 100%. 0.48 would be 200%. What that is whatever your profit is, obviously, it's 2 times the profit. So I'm going into it knowing, okay, I'm going to make $500 on this trade. Okay, cool. I'm cool with losing 1,000. I know my probability doing this strategy with this stop loss gives me an 85 to 90% win rate, and I know I just continue to compound. I also know that obviously I will lose some trades, and that's fine. You take 2 to 3 trade setback, but then you just start to compound again. Why are you so bullish on Rivian? Their tech, their AI, their autonomy, their cars, the catalyst with that, their road to profitability. Honestly, all that stuff. All the leadership's good. Another thing I'd say with Rivian is the chart is set up on the weekly and monthly. It it is really set up to pop. Um, what else? What else? What else? We got it. You were in this trade 35 at point. When do you average in? I didn't see. So I didn't average in on this one because I already took a trade earlier in the day and I just wasn't really watching at the time. So yeah, I didn't average in on this one. I probably should have. Sorry, the cold is still getting. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Harold. Fuck those Rivians. Yeah. So let's go over spreads. This is that $4,500 account. It's already at 61,000. 61,000, 6,100 in just about 2 weeks. Over 2 weeks. You can see my wins here. You can see the return on the capital used, and you can see the trades. I already marked this one off as a win because it's not dropping $16 here in that amount of time. So you can see my wins. Obviously, just look at the consistency. Now, if I lose, let's say on average I'm making $100. I lose $200. Okay, I lose 2 trades. I'm right back in the saddle. Sorry. Yeah, I lose $200. Yeah, if my profit's 100 and I lose 200, that's 200%. I'm at 5,900. That does not kill me. I'm still up 1,400. Look at the win rate. Look at the consistency. Just continue compounding. Look at the gains for this month so far, 1,200. And that's only in 8 trades, $1,200. Beautiful. On at one point, $4,900 account before we got into December. Now let's go to the big boy. And let's do this. 5,000 to 94,000 just about in under a year, or sorry, over a year. As you can see here, our first trade we tracked was November 1st of 2024. And we are on set with over half the month left. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of days off in December with holidays, but with about half the month left, we are looking to break that November record by probably a large margin, probably 5,000 to 6,000, maybe. Let's look at our trades since then. This is going to be zeroed. So let's look at our trades then. Okay, by the way, you can see here I had 2 trades in a row that I just did not that good. Now, at this point, my account was, let's say, 85,000. Okay. Again, I am okay with risking more. You do not need to do as many contracts as I do just because you see that. I am okay with risking more. So I'm okay with losing this amount because, again, look right here. Look at exactly, I made that back in 2 days. And then now look at the compounding of that. Okay. So you may see large losses on mine. And you could actually see here, I went over the 200%. Obviously, in this case, it's never going to be exactly 200. Usually, you'll see my sells are 190 to about 230, 240%, because sometimes it just moves quicker than I could, get to. Unless you're using a broker that has a stop loss, let's say for Schwab, I know does. I believe E-Trade does, where you could use it on spreads. So you could set it at 200%, and you'll probably get filled 200 to 210%. So yeah, but you can see the consistency. There is, you can see just the growth. I had 1 month where I was red. 1 month, negative $729. I haven't had, it's just consistent compounding. And then obviously you could see I started to size up. So again, spreads could be a game changer. I'm going to drill this into people's heads because it's been way too long that people have not looked into the strategy, and it could really change your life. Seriously, this is a second income. Would you like to turn? Okay, forget about my 5,093. Let's say you have $25,000. Okay, let's say you're conservatively trading that. You're not as aggressive as I am. Let's say you're doing $5,000 into each trade every day. Okay. Obviously, you have no pattern day trade. You don't have to worry about that. So you're over 25K. Even if you were under 25K, but we're gonna do the thing here where you're over it. Okay. Let's say you take a trade every day. Okay. Let's say what is there 20? Let's say there's 20 days in a trading month. I think it's 21 or something like that, just on average. So we'll say 20. Let's say you win 18 times and you lose 2 times. So you lose 2 days. Okay. Puts us at our 90%. Let's say you even lose 3 times. Okay. Now you're making, let's say you do $500 a day in profit. No, let's say $300 a day in profit times 17. That's 5,100. Okay. Now, if you're making 300, let's say you're losing 600 because you're obviously 2xing the profit, the loss. So now, because you see that sometimes you may go over that 200% in the case that you don't have a brokerage that has a stop loss. So let's just do 650 is the loss. So a little bit over at 600, and we're going to times that by 3. So you're at 2,000. You're at 1950 for the loss. Let's make it 2,000. You'd still be at 3,100 for the month. Times that by 12. On 25,000, you doubled your money and more. I mean, simple math, and we're doing about an 85% win rate there, as shown here. Again, with the spreads that we're doing, it is very conservative. We are far out of the money. You're looking for 2 to 5% return on that cash capital used per day, and it's just consistent compounding. Okay, I know I probably have a lot of questions, so let me get to those really quick. Sorry. When you are in the money, do you just let them expire worthless at the end of the day? So in this case, we have a QQQ 613 put. We are $13 or $12 away from that. Our low of the day is 6. Let's just call it 618. I'm gonna hold that. I mean, it's 1 cent on the ask right now. You know, I'm just not gonna bother. I won't even get filled at 1 cent. How do you know when to close your trade if you don't have auto stops? Yeah, I'm personally watching it. Again, I'm trading all day. I'm personally watching it. So yeah. How much money do you need as collateral to take these trades? You could realistically start with $500. I mean, I would suggest doing it with at least 2,000. I mean, if you could do more, 5,000. But you could start with $500. For example, today, you could have taken that one contract. You could have taken one contract. By the way, our Rivian calls are ripping. Hold on. Ooh. Ooh. Over the 21 EMA. And we're going to do this. We're up 21% on those contracts. We're going to trim one of those puppies out. There we go. Nice 20% there on Rivian. So we have 2 contracts left on Rivian. All right, let me get back to that. Sorry. Okay, so QQQ. We sold the 612 and bought the 607. Then we sold the 613 and bought the 608. What you could do here with that is that's $500 right there. So you need, in that case, for that specific trade, because it's $5 wide, 613 is a sold put, 608 is a bought put. you'll need $500 to take that trade. And the gain right there was, I think, 13 cents or something, 12 cents, but I don't even remember. But on that, you're making 2% on your money. Again, kind of what we just talked about. You want to be in that 2 to 5% range. So you could have made 2% account gain on that alone, NP. I think a lot of people need to hop on spreads. What delta do I use for the spreads? Usually a 7 to 12 delta. So again, that's putting me, a 12 delta is an 88% probability of profit. A 7 delta is a 93% probability of profit. I found that that's the sweet spot where you get that consistent compounding. Do you ever trade SPX spreads since they are cash settled? I do not. I trade NDX. So also the same thing that you're saying here. It's cash settled as well as that better tax treatment. So I do NDX. I just trade QQQ and NQ more. So I just know it better. Obviously, I do watch SPY and everything, but I just trade NQ more. Not even sure what spreads are. Wait, I'll get to that in a second, Nick. Is there a reason you've chosen to trade NDX over QQQ? NDX, well, one, what was just said here, the cash settled where at 4 p.m. it closes no matter what, and you get better taxes. I think it's like 10% better on the gains. And then just overall, today I actually chose QQQ. So it depends on different situations. I do like to trade NDX a lot because the premiums are just better. I could usually go further out, but in today's case, it was actually interesting where I was able to go further out on Qs and make a good kind of, coin there, with the same return, like 3 to 4%, 5%, whatever it was. How do you know when to close a trade if you don't have auto stops on? Yes, Harold, I am watching. Again, I'm trading all day, so I'm checking, things and looking at the market and stuff like that. Okay, not even sure what spreads are. Let's quickly dive into that. In simple terms, simple terms. Okay, so we got into a put spread today. A put spread is a bullish spread. You want the price of the instrument, the ticker that you're trading, to stay above a certain price. In this case, we wanted Qs to stay above 612. Obviously, you could see here it is doing that. And you would make profit on just it staying above that price. It could come down, it could stay flat, it could go up, and you make money. Rather than buying a call option on Qs, where you obviously need the price to go up in a honestly short fashion, just like this right here, or just like this to make your money, or this to make your money. With the spread, you could enter here and you want it to stay above a certain price. And look, it could go up and it could come down and you'd still be in profit. You'd actually probably gain profit for even if it came down and just held. It could chop like it did here. It could break out and your contracts would go to zero quicker, which is good for a spread. You want the contracts to go to zero. It's a theta birding strategy. And then if you're bearish, let's say you didn't expect Qs to go above 630 today on QQQ. So you would sell a 630 call and buy a 631 call. In this case, you're $1 strike wide, so you'll need $100 per contract to open that position. If you wanted 5 contracts, you would need $500, and you would collect premium on that. As long as Q stays below 630, you'd make profit. Now, in the case where it continues to go up here, you will technically be losing on the trade at that specific time, but as it gets later in the day, that theta burn will obviously help you out. But yeah, hopefully that was a quick little explanation, there. You're right, Scott. You are right. This is actually a good way to do it. I do like that a lot. Does anyone have any questions quickly before we, I guess, go into other things? Okay. Yeah, so can you talk about how you manage when the spread goes against you? Do you drop the short side, or do you just get out at a minus 200% or minus 300% of premium? Again, I try to stick to that 200%. It's going to keep you in the game. It's good risk management. I really don't want to get it to 300%. What's it called? To answer your question, can you talk about how you manage when the spread goes against you? Yeah, I'm closing both sides personally. You could close just the short side and obviously ride the puts, but me personally, I'm just closing, the whole entire position and just moving on. Um, that's how I personally do it. You could do it the other way, where you just close the short side. And in a case like today, if let's just say the market kept dropping and I'm in put spreads, you could just ride the puts down. Obviously, you bought puts technically, and you could ride that down and make profit. So that was a really good question. I know people have asked me this, so I will bring it up. We do have a spreads copy trading with Peakbot. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Peakbot. So if I enter a spread, for example, the spreads that I entered today, it would literally copy into your account. And they're offering 25% off. You could do yearly or monthly. So, for example, I am doing this. That account is a $7,000 account right now. So, if you followed a 1 unit, it shows 5,000. That needs to be changed. If you followed a 1 unit, if I got 8 contracts, you got 8 contracts. If I got 5 contracts, you got 5 contracts. If you did a 2 unit and I got 5 contracts, you would get 10 contracts. If I got 10 contracts, you get 20. Obviously, same thing for the 5 unit. Very good. If you are interested, let me know. I could definitely share the link. I could get you in contact with them. You could ask them all the questions you want. But they are extremely solid. Have had no issues. They've been in business for 5 years. I've been working with them for over 2, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. Thanks for answering. How do you choose your strikes? Something like a point 12. Yes. So I look for a 7 to 12 delta is my sold strike. So yeah, if anyone's interested in that copy trading, do let me know. Obviously, if anyone's interested in trading with us live every day, you could join us right up here at bulltradefinder.net, and you could use the code BTF there, and you'll get % off. Again, as always, if you guys have any questions, you could always text me, DM me on Discord, DM me on X, whatever it is as well. Yes, I am manually managing all that for Peapod. Well, I guess for my trades. Rivian is popping here. Our contracts are up 30% on the swing. We already trimmed one at 22%. Beautiful. Beautiful. I have a question. Do I even want to look at A-Lab? Okay. Yeah, I agree. Their UI isn't the greatest. But I've had no problems, and have had no problems with Peakbot either. Do we need to close the spread? The spread that we're in now, I don't think so. It's at 0 or 1 cent. Wow, what the fuck was that? Netflix. Honestly, I think Netflix goes down to this 85 area. I think it's just going to keep riding down. I want to be a buyer in between here, 82 to 85. I could be wrong. It obviously could go up, but I think 82 to 85, good buy for me. Does anyone have any questions on anything? Any trades we want to look at? Anything on spreads? Anything? Rivian. I don't have a course. I don't like doing courses. I think it's just a big money grab, to be honest. I mean, you see people selling courses for $5,000. That's just a fucking joke. I mean, to be frank with you, that's just a joke. There's a reason why they're doing it. I mean, obviously, yes, they're doing it to make money, but I don't know. I think you could learn everything online. I mean, I posted all my spread stuff online. I want to see people win. I want to see people succeed. Now, it's for them to actually do it, but I will 100%. Let me get a link for you. Let me get a link for you. It is going to be... Yes, this video. Tell me if you grabbed that video. Scott, I'll get to that in a second. Just 1 second. I'm just going to go through the quicker questions first. Do you look at VIX to help decide what strikes to take in the morning? Yeah, I do check VIX. I do check SPY. I do check QQQ. I check it all. So yes, I do. I look at the individual names too, like Mag7, Meta, Amazon, Apple, so on and so forth. Regarding the spread, yesterday I looked and it showed $20 to win, and if I lost, it was something like that. Yeah, again, you put up more collateral in spreads, but again, in this case, if the win is $20, the loss that I'm doing is $40. I'm never, ever giving up that amount. I've traded spreads for 6 years now. I traded through COVID, through that volatility. I mean, we had 7, 10% down days. We had 3, 5, 6% up days. I traded through 2022. I traded it a month ago. I mean, I traded it when we just do nothing. I have had no anywhere close to issues where I am selling even remotely anywhere near that money used. 1 second, Harold. Yes. So what are your targets for the Rivian swings? I am looking now. Well, my target was actually 1660 at first. I trimmed there, one of them. I'm looking for 17 now. And I trimmed there again. We're up 30%. Okay. I need to go back to Mr. Scott, who had a question here. Spread entries, best practices. Okay. This is a really good one. I am going to change my screen. And where is this? Okay. Change my screen. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. Okay. Okay. Here's what I'm doing for basically the best entry practices. I usually wait till 10:30 Today I did a little bit earlier. I'm going to explain why. 10:30 a.m. Eastern. You get the data out at 9:45 and 10. You get that out of the way, and you get the first hour of trading out of the way to kind of know the trend and kind of see what the market wants to do. Is it going to be choppy? Is it going to be trendy? Stuff like that. Obviously, anything could happen later in the day. We could get a massive move, but you get that first hour out of the day and you kind of know where the trend is going. Again, we talk about the 200% stop loss. Again, we talk about at least a 12 or lower delta. Don't have to worry about this anymore. That's just old. And I also do now NDX. This is going over spreads. So another thing that I would add to this is why I went into a trade today in NDX earlier is because at one point today, well, actually, in the morning, we were down over 1%. When we entered our spreads, we were down 1.3%. So here is why I entered early. And I actually entered even before we had a bottom. So I entered actually literally like, no, it was right at 10. I can tell you when it was. Give me a second. Actually, it'd be better if I just quickly look here. 9:53. And then I added at 10:04. So 9:53 would be this candle. Yep, right after this candle. So right here, on this candle right here. And then 10:04 would be at the close of this candle. Okay. So let's talk about why I did this. First of all, here we were down 1.3, 1.4% on the day. Statistically, the market being down 2% is under six. The market closing under 2% is 6.2% of the time. The market closing down over 3% is under like 2% of the time. So statistically, we're 94% and 98% probability of us winning. Not winning, but that trade working out for us in that fact. In that history of data for years and years and years and years. Second of all, on this trade, when we got the ad, we have an inverted hammer here, and then we have a strong hammer with a long wick. I'm looking bullish reversal, and you can see we had a 200 plus point move from there. So that's why a practice or a statistical advantage of that, when we are gapping down or gapping up 1% plus, I'm looking to usually open spreads pretty early before that 10:30 timing, because the volatility, or maybe not the volatility, the premiums are going to be higher. Yeah, I guess because the implied volatility there off of that gap up or gap down. In today's case, a gap down. So I'm trying to take advantage of the volatility because obviously going to premium burn, pretty quick. And I was able to go another 2% out. So we were going to be basically 3.3% down on the day where my strike was. And again, that happens under 2% of the time. So I'm going to take that. And the delta was under 10, I think. So again, my probability of profit was already, again, possibly a 90% plus. So again, that's a great entry practice there for a specific situation too. Yep, 100%, Terry. We'll definitely message you on X right after this. Again, if you guys ever have any questions, DM me on Discord, DM me on X. I will answer every single thing. I'm not one of those people that's just going to let it die into the abyss, which I think is kind of sad, because if I was in the same situation trying to ask people for something, I would want to be obviously, answered. Yes, this will be recorded. You'll be able to rewatch it later. Only if the world, yeah. Honestly, now if the market, if the whole world's getting bombed, yeah, that's where we may be in a situation there. But at that point, does our money matter? I don't think so. Does anyone else have any questions? Let's see where Rivian's at. Rivian's still grinding, and we're at 32%. I'm going to trim one more. Let's see how shit this fill is. They showed the bid at 173, the middle at 179. What did it fill me? So it actually filled me at 173 that time. Okay. Okay. So I trim Rivian again. We're going to hold one contract in a swing for Rivian. $16 calls, which in this case are now in the money. We got this when it was actually just at 16. So very nice there on Rivian. I really want to look for a swing. I know I've been watching Meta. It's not closing where I want it to now. They're really trying to pull me in with the circle. And honestly, I've never really traded circle before. But it looks like they want like this 90 or 92. Yeah. With 87 being a possible support. I mean, you could see that clearly. 85 is our 9 EMA. 87 is our 21 EMA. I mean, you could see the pretty clear support and resistance here. Look at the candle closings and wicks. We have a close. We have an open plus a wick. We have an open. I think circle might be a trade I swing overnight. We have core weave, I think was another one I was looking at. Also closing over the 9 and 21 as of right now. Let's just check that. 90, 95. Yeah, I like circle better. Mr. Hacklow, not one I trade often. I do want to check it though on Heat Seeker. Just too much shit. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to watch circle into end of day. Oh, shit. Again, I just want to see people succeed. That's why I keep hammering down on these spreads, because it's changed my life. I know it's definitely changed other people's lives. I see people struggling just trading regular options. I just don't understand why no one ever looks into spreads. And again, I talk about it over and over again. People look at spreads and they see exactly what someone kind of said in the comments. You put $1,000 down, and you can make that's a bad example, but you put $1,000 down to make $20, doesn't look that good. But in terms of 2% return, but it doesn't look that good. Whereas people online are posting, oh, I made $5,000 trading AMD today. I bought a 210 call and went up. Different things. Look at this 2-minute 9 EMA. You could have rode this all damn day. I missed a lot of fucking good plays today. Holy shit. Holy shizer. Okay, if anyone doesn't have any questions. Oh, we do have a lot of questions. Hold on. Good question, Jay. Honestly, best answer is it could be both. I mean, yeah. It could be both. It does. I wouldn't say one or the other, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't say one or the other. It depends on what you're looking to do. Like, are you doing a condor where you want it to stay in between? I guess it depends on a lot of factors there. Nadia, can you explain this? Oh, are you talking about this? This. Okay. $48,000 was the capital used, and I made $2,000. My return on that investment, obviously, 4% in a day. You can see here, capital used, total return percentage. There you go. Hopefully that makes sense, Nadia. I joined Asgard and I immediately appreciate your posts and the spreads ideas. I'm really glad to hear that, Ron. Yeah, I honestly have never really traded Circle either. Can you take a look at ANET? Yes, I will. Thank you. Of course. No, 100%. Oh yeah, Wolf. Wolf is the man. Gav's the man. Jordan's the man. The whole team's the man. The man. The girl. It don't matter. They're the best. They are the best. ANET. Okay, so ANET over the 9 and 21, under the 50 SMA. Right now, I personally wouldn't trade it. Yeah, right now I wouldn't really trade it. I just don't see anything really beneficial there at this exact moment. It's in the middle of this 9 and 21 and the 50. Little indecisive, but obviously pushed up today. Buyer stepped in. I would just basically wait, in my opinion. Yeah, no, seriously, spreads are absolutely amazing. And that doesn't mean you don't just trade. That doesn't mean you just trade spreads. If you want to trade options, you can. Just size even smaller. I know people who do both. I know people who have only just traded spreads now because it's just been like life changer, literally. Yes, Nadia. So yes, put 48K to make 2K. How much is my risk? All 48K? No, nowhere close. I do 2 times the profit. So if I'm going to make 2,000 on that trade, I am risking 4,000. Always how I did it. If I first started with 300%, which in this case would be 6K, I don't do that anymore. I learned it didn't really statistically add up as good as doing the 200%. I went to 250%. Again, I learned wasn't as good as doing the 200% when I found it out. And then I went to 150% stop loss. And then I found that sweet spot was at 200%. So I stuck with that, and it's been absolutely beneficial. So again, to answer your question, whatever your profit is, forget the numbers right now. If you are looking to make $100 a day, you have to be okay with losing $200. If you're okay with losing $500, then you're looking to make $250. If you're okay with losing $1,000, then you're looking to make around $500. So you got to find that number that you're okay with losing and that you technically want to make as well. But yes, I would never, ever, ever risk that. Okay. That's basically it. Got some good trims off on Rivian. Gonna watch Meta to see if it closes over and makes this an engulfing. Microsoft is already doing that. And we're gonna watch Circle to see if it could pop. Let's check BTC. Okay. Yeah, so we'll kind of say, if no one has any question, are you talking about QQ or any experts? What is the difference? It doesn't matter regarding that stop loss. It doesn't matter. But I personally traded QQQ or NDX. So, I mean, today we traded QQQ. So, again, if anyone's interested in that spreads copy trading, let me know. I could send you the link. And if anyone wants to join us in our Discord, live trading every day, all the alerts, all the questions, whatever you need, bullettradefinder.net. And you can see that here. And you could use code BTF for percentage off. Again, if you have any questions, DM me on X, DM me on Discord, whatever it is. I'm always there to help. If there's nothing else, I'm going to hop off. I will catch all of you later. And that is about it. I hope everyone has a great night. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Let's make some money tomorrow. Ding, ding, ding.